full circle. This year we had the biggest crop we've ever had. Let's see what else I can tell you. Did you want me to talk to you about the wind machine at all?
Yes, if you could.
Okay, we have a wind machine, which I think you have footage of. And what it is, it looks like a windmill. A lot of people think it's a windmill that produces power. It doesn't. It actually runs on propane. And whenever the temperature drops close to freezing, it has a thermostat. It kicks on automatically. Sounds like a helicopter landing. And it pushes the warm air down because cool air settles. It pushes the warm air down, and then the cold air goes up, and it keeps our flowers from freezing, because if we lose our flowers, we lose part of our crop. What is interesting that we noticed, because our farm has been so successful this year, like I said, we had the biggest crop we've ever had. We actually have fewer berries behind the barn here this year for the first time ever. It was a little bit colder this year than it was last year, and we think it's because the wind machine doesn't work on the other side of the barn. So we have fewer berries over there, but we are not, in the 14 years we've been here, and the people who own this farm were farmers before in Fallbrook, they have not really noticed a lot of change. That's just our experience here. That could change, but on our farm, that's what we've seen.
Okay, and do you do anything that's eco-friendly around here?
We do almost everything eco-friendly here. We very much believe in the circle of life here. We treat our water, but that's to bring the pH up, because blueberries need a certain type of water, so we treat our water just to bring the levels up. We are not certified organic. If we were certified organic, we would have to use 6 times the amount of chemicals in our water, so we choose not to. We don't do anything about the birds. We have a U-pick blueberry farm, so by having all the people out in the fields, it scares the birds away, which is nice. There are human scarecrows. We also try to encourage kestrels to come to the farm. We've built kestrel houses, and kestrels actually kill and eat the birds that eat our blueberries. We also have barn owls that hunt the rats and rodents at night, and we have hawks that hunt things during the day. We believe in a balance. You can't get rid of too much of any one thing. You have to have the rats and the mice and all of the scavengers, because that's who eats all the berries off the ground for us at night. We have a road runner who patrols up and down our rows all the time, and he eats all the little lizards and the other little bugs. So you need the good bugs, and you need some of the bad stuff too, because it keeps everything in check. Once you start messing with that, it gets out of balance if you have too much of one thing.
Okay.
And so if we ever have to treat our plants, we spot treat, and the product we use is like a type of mold that goes after just that bug, because we never want to get rid of ladybugs and the good bugs that eat the aphids and the bad bugs. And we're also very into bees. We need them to pollinate. We have over 11,000 bushes here, and we bring in 20 colonies of bees.
Oh, wow. Climate change has effects on insects especially, and so you would say that definitely that's something of importance as working on a farm, that everyone should be very wary of messing with the system.
You can't mess
life.
with the system.
Okay.
You can't mess with the system. You know, we need the bees, we need the ladybugs, you know, we need the predator birds, you know, so we can't poison the rats or the bunnies or the mice, because that'll kill our predator birds. So you have to be real careful. And you need the insects, you need the bees. Because without the bees, we can't pollinate. And our berries, we'll still have berries, but they'll be small. They won't develop the big fruit.
Okay. I don't know if you want to stop. And then I know down in other regions of California, we're having very serious droughts,
right. and they truck their water in. So we're doing okay here.
So Temecula is good, but for
the other areas probably. Oh yeah, I know up in the San Joaquin Valley. But if you ask us just for our farm, that's what we see. We just focus on what's going on here.
And do you think that the adverse effects of climate change in other regions, do you think that is a possibility to have effects on your farm in the upcoming years? They say it'll take a couple, like in the near decades, for maybe Temecula to see effects, but it would be similar to those in.
I mean, not having water would affect us hugely, but at this point, we don't see it as an issue for us. You know, I guess they would start seeing issues with the groundwater, and they're just not seeing it right now. But if it ever happened, it would be a problem for us. If we lost our groundwater, we couldn't irrigate our fields.
Do you think that it's knowing that if you lost your groundwater, you wouldn't be able to irrigate your fields? Do you know? Would you think that climate change is important? Like,
definitely climate change.
Okay.
Yeah, if it was affecting us at this time, it's not.
But since it's not affecting you now, wouldn't you want to like do more?
I don't know what else we could do.
Or?
Well, I mean, we were doing everything we can. There's nothing that we're doing that's adversely
affecting you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just don't think that climate change is an issue. When really, I guess in most California, it's not as big as a problem. Mostly on the coastal regions, it's a problem, but
I'm sure it's an issue. But if you ask, is it an issue that affects our farm today?
No.
You know, if you because what you said is, you know, does it affect our farm today? Have we seen any adverse effects from it as of today? We haven't here. But the minute we start seeing anything, we would have to get right on it and make decisions based on that. But right now, we try to stay as green as we can. And the nice thing about having the U-Pick is we're not using a ton of chemicals. We're not shipping the berries everywhere. You know, we're working with the farmer.
Okay, so it's like a really good initiative.
And it's a real family-friendly place, and we try to educate the public as much as we can. I'm a field trip person, so we do about 3 field trips a day with the young kids and try to instill in them the importance of, you know, farming and just a lot of kids don't get that experience. They don't get the experience of having to pick the berries. How do you pick them? About pollinating. So for the next generation, they'll know bees are, I talk to them about how important bees are and bugs are and even the little guys that eat up after them. So.
Okay, so Temecula Berry Company would be an example of like a perfect ecologically farm and how biodiversity works together to create an environment where sustainable agriculture can flourish.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's it, but I don't know.
But
I think I need to be closer. I'm here at Temecula Blueberry Farm, which is a local business, and they run their farm very eco-friendly, not like normal farms. It's a stop and pick farm, which means that people come and pick their own blueberries. What should I say? This farm isn't run like ordinary farms, and for that reason, I would say it's successful in being a part of sustainable agriculture and I don't know. Pause. In other regions, drought has been an issue and a lot of crops aren't yielding as much because of the climate changes have been affecting their crops. In Temecula, we don't yet see any effects of climate change, but in the near future it is possible if we don't continue to make green efforts.